According to my watch, it is now approximately 8:50 p.m., November 1st, 2022. And as of today, movie director James Gunn, who directed all three of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy movies, the upcoming Christmas special, and DC's Suicide Squad reboot/sequel, has now officially begun his tenure as the co-chairman and co-CEO of DC Studios. And ladies and gentlemen, what an auspicious occasion for this. So, if you've been living under a rock and don't know what I'm talking about, almost a week ago to the day, it was announced via numerous websites and articles that James Gunn and movie producer Peter Safran have now been tasked with being the chairmen and CEOs of the newly titled DC Studios, and will directly influence things to happen and be involved and connect with now the DC Universe. No more DC Extended Universe, DCEU, is now DCU. And also in those same articles and websites, they announced that James Gunn and Peter Safran will have nothing to do with Matt Reeves' Batman universe and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker universe. They are strictly controlling the universe that has Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman 1984, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, The Flash, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Black Adam, and many more to come in the new DCU. And as such, you have very polarizing opinions, if you will. You have those that don't think it's a good idea, that don't really see any good that could come from James Gunn's version of the DC universe, or what he has planned or what he will plan for. You have a select few that are like, hey, listen, if it came down to either him or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on what to do with DCEU, I'd rather James Gunn, since he's a director, he's been in the game, he knows what's up, he knows what to do, he knows how to make it work, he knows how to connect things, he knows, okay, this is how this movie will tie into this movie, this is how the director will tackle this movie or these shows and such. But then you have those in the camp that I'm in, where it's like, this is a great idea. All due respect to The Rock. All respect to him and what Black Adam did, especially bringing back Henry Cavill as Superman. To me, James Gunn, he makes more sense than The Rock. Not to say The Rock can't contribute for the DCU, but James Gunn just makes more and more sense. Oh, and also it said in the many articles that James Gunn, while he'll be a chairman, every once in a while he will be behind the director's chair, directing a movie or a TV show, which is stated that he has a secret project coming soon to HBO Max from the DCU, and he does have ideas for a future movie he's going to do. So, obviously, you can't tell, how do I feel about it? I think it's a good idea. Listen, the DCU for a better part of a decade has been through very treacherous waters. Man of Steel, which so far is still, I would say, to me, it and another movie I will talk about are the two best DCEU movies, like the best, it took me a minute to warm up to Man of Steel and Henry Cavill's version of Superman. It took me a minute to really understand the nuances and the complexities of it. The theatrical cut of Batman v Superman was decent at best. I still haven't seen the R-rated cut, which I heard is somewhat better. But right now, I'm just going off of the theatrical PG-13 cut. It was decent. Haven't seen Wonder Woman 1. Haven't seen Wonder Woman 2. Haven't seen Aquaman 1. I've seen David Ayer's Suicide Squad, the theatrical cut. At the time, it was a lot of fun, but looking back at it, it is not good. Like, not good at all. Haven't seen the extended cut as of yet. And I'm one of those that are pushing for David Ayer's legit cut of the movie to be seen. What he wanted to do with the movie versus what the movie ended up being. Hashtag release the Ayer cut. Enjoyed Shazam. Like, it was one of the most heartwarming and one of the most, did I say, touching DCEU movies to date. That was a very beautiful movie, and it took place in a movie. It took place around Christmas, which is cool. Birds of Prey. Listen, whatever people will say, whatever detractors will say, whatever douchebags will say, Birds of Prey, a movie I was like, really? Did we need this movie? Not really. I mean, then I saw it in the theater before the theaters were shut down with my sister and my niece. My niece, the biggest Harley Quinn fan I know, saw Birds of Prey in theaters and was like, you know what? That was a lot of fun. I totally dug it. I totally dug the aesthetics. I totally dug the vibe. I adored Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, just like I did when she was in Suicide Squad. I liked Journey Smollett as Black Canary. I liked Mary Elizabeth Winstead as I almost said Black Canary, as Huntress. She cracked me up. Like, it always plays in my mind this one scene before the Birds of Prey go into battle. The whole I think Black Canary was like, "Hey, what's the deal with the bow and arrow? It's not an effing bow and arrow. It's a crossbow. I'm not 12." I like this girl. She's got rage issues. I don't have rage issues. She's so funny. And even at the end, after they killed off Black Mask, which I thought bad idea. I would like him to stick around. Ewan McGregor killed it, but whatever. Even at the end, where they were getting tacos, and what was it? Black Canary was like, "Hey, I like what you did with the crossbow. That was superb." Really? Yeah, it was cool. Oh, thanks. And I like the way you kick butt in those incredibly tight pants. I'm like, oh my God, Huntress. She is so socially awkward. She's just like me. It's amazing. Even earlier when we got her introduction to, "Do you know who I am?" That's too forward. "Do you know who I am?" Too gruff. I hope she comes back. But yeah, the movie, just like Captain Marvel 1, just like She-Hulk, just like whatever female-led projects that has come in the age of the woke movement, has gotten very, very unjustly hated for stupid reasons. I would love a sequel. James Gunn, I want a sequel to Birds of Prey. You want to do stuff with Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn? Give me Birds of Prey 2. And the people who actually enjoy that movie and appreciate that movie, well, thank you. That's besides the point. Haven't seen The Suicide Squad directed by him, and from what I've heard, it is truly bonkers and very adult, but feels like Guardians of the Galaxy in a sense. And of course, right now, the new hot flavor, Black Adam, which I still have not seen. Did see the post-credit scene because it's all over the internet. Matter of fact, it was leaked way before the movie came out, so how could you not see it? And Welcome back, Henry Cavill. Welcome back, Henry Cavill. So that's where we're at here. Again, I'm very much looking forward to what James Gunn has to offer with the DCU. Now, to me, I have only two specific hopes. Obviously, one is Man of Steel 2, which, thank God, is coming. Hopefully, it's coming. After, y'all realize it will almost be 10 years since Man of Steel, and we still haven't gotten a sequel? How insane is that? We're going on 10 years after Man of Steel, and now are we getting a sequel? Whatever. Pretty ridiculous. So yeah, one is Man of Steel 2. And two, the biggest hope I want is that James Gunn, with this new DC Studios, where they're going to be independent of Warner Brothers, they're going to do their thing, report to Warner Brothers. I want James Gunn and the connectivity of the DCU to make sense. The reason why the MCU has been the top dog for 14 years is because whether you like the project or not, or whether you're confused by the project, the connectivity in a way was streamlined and it made sense. This is what I want with DCU. I don't want them to be, a copy of the MCU. After the MCU, we've had copies after copies after copies try to do what the MCU do, and on their face. The DCEU, speaking of, the Universal Dark Universe, that thing with the monsters, the Mummy, and nothing came from that again. And the whole thing with G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes, nothing after that. DCU, I don't want them to be another MCU, but if you're going to at least try to make an attempt to be like the MCU, make it make sense. Make it so the next movie or TV show that comes out is still set in the universe, and make it make sense as to why it's set in the universe. Where does this character come from? Where in the timeline is this? How does it make sense for the story, not just of the project, but down the line, or what came before? That's what I hope for. James Gunn, I'm going to have a very close eye on you. I hope you do great. There are those who are already praying for your downfall, praying that it doesn't work. To which I say, screw those voices. You know what got you to the dance, not just with Guardians, but what you've done. So my hope, other than Man of Steel 2, is that you make the DCU make sense. We get great movies and great TV shows. We get great content. We get great expansion of the universe. We get great characters. We get great stories. Because I feel like that's what the DCEU mostly has been lacking, is stories. Characters, that's a different thing. Stories, we're lacking in stories. We are very much lacking in magic with the DCU, and I hope under James Gunn we sort of get back to that. We get back to DC making movie magic, not just cinematically, but on the TV. They get back to making magic, and if they keep going, if they do what they do and make the right moves and do the right things, then within 3 years the DCU will be the second hottest commodity in Hollywood under the MCU. So James Gunn, good luck. I'm rooting for you. Not everyone else will, but I'm rooting for you. And that's all that matters. And that will be it for the Al Johnson Show today. Like, comment, share, subscribe for more. Hit the noti bell for more if you want new content. I've been Al Johnson, and you're not. Deuces. Go DC.